Hey guys, it's Jasmine, your brow expert, and I will continue to be your brow expert. My page is going to be mainly about brows because I believe it's the hardest things to try to get right? But it's going to be a little different today. So many of you guys asked me, what do you use for your skin? Your skin looks great. What's your skincare routine? So I thought, why not show you guys real quickly what I put on my skin? Keep in mind, none of this product that I'm going to mention, I don't get any kind of benefit from it. I should. But I don't, because I really wanted you guys to know what I use. I did this makeup because I am on my way to a surprise birthday party for my sister, and I'm going to show you, does red lipstick make sense during the day? Why not? It's the holidays, it's fall, winter, and so I believe you can wear red lips. And so what did I use on my lips to make it look a little bit more, I don't know, wearable? I will share that tip with you guys, so stick with me. Okay, so let's get started with the skincare, right? So my skin is actually doing well. I had a really big zit right here, and you could probably still see a little bit of that. I don't know, 57 years old, who's still getting pimples? Me. Which is why DNA, and I'm going to get to that really quick, all of these skincare products I've been using for over 2 decades. So it's been around that long, you guys, called Les Mieux. And I will put all the products I use today in the information box, so don't worry about that, just in case you miss everything I do, which I'm going to try to simplify. Okay, so first, the face is clean, right? And I pretty much do everything I do in the morning, almost everything that I do at night, except for the fact that I use actually a retinol at nighttime. Just getting ready during this is daytime if you haven't figured out already, but this is 1.0. It's actually a low grade. It's not a prescription by a dermatologist. It's by SkinCeuticals. You can get this, I believe, online. Be careful with this stuff. It is strong, even though it's not a prescription. So I use it. First, I started with like once or twice a week, and then I kind of gradually used size of a pea every other day. But again, it can get strong if you use too much. And that just helps the clarity of the skin. I have a lot of melasma, and actually not that much now. I used to have a lot more, but the rest are freckles and then like the melasma mixed in there. So good times, right? So I use a little bit of the Brightening toner by Les Mieux. Now it's usually in a spray bottle. This is obviously a big size. So I put it in this tiny little spray bottle, mainly because I travel and I like to keep a little bit in here. So I just spray a little bit. Now, a lot of you guys probably use like a little pad. I actually just throw it on the skin. I don't know. Maybe you're supposed to use a pad. I don't know. I love it. And I think it just kind of gets the skin ready for all the moisturizer. It's meant to pH balance your skin, after all the non-purified waters that we use. At least mine are probably not as clean from the faucet. But anyway, so yeah, it just kind of balances your pH level. So once I do that, I go ahead and quickly put on I think it's the DNA. Now, this is the Miracle of All Miracle Serum. Serums are really important, at least I think so. So I use the DNA, EFG, and I use a tiny bit morning and night, actually, and just kind of like, I don't know, 2-3 drops at the most, if that. And I love to put it all over my neck, of course, all over the face, and especially on the eyelid. I try to not forget that. Now I'm in the habit of it, so I always put it on the eyelid and on the back of my hand. It's just kind of, if there's any leftover, I always put it at the back of my hand. Do you guys do that? I do. Okay, so you've done that, and then I go to the vitamin C. I don't use vitamin C every night because I use the retinol. So this is not, when I'm not using the retinol, I use the vitamin C. Now, they did say that, SkinCeuticals that is, said that I can use probably both, but I'm just kind of alternating. Again, 2 or 3 drops. You don't need much. This guy is very, very potent. I love it because I think it just gives more clarity to the skin. And to me, it feels like it's kind of dispersed all of my spots. So it's not as like, it doesn't congregate in one little area. So I think it just kind of gives it more of an even look to the skin. Now, this was a gift. I don't think it comes in this bottle, but it's a peptide serum. It's a collagen serum, and it's amazing. I love this because it really puts back some firmness to the skin. So again, neck, face, and if you guys have been following me, you already know that I'm all about things that are efficient, quick. I don't like to fuss too much, even with the eyebrows. But my brow channel will not change. It'll be all about the eyebrows, like I said before. And this is just something that so many of you guys have asked me, what do you do? So this is what I'm doing in the morning. Nighttime, very similar, except the change of retinol every once in a while. Okay, so I typically would use the eye wrinkle cream by Lemieux, but I'm out. So I'm just going to use my moisturizer, which is the BioCell rejuvenating cream. Now this I love. I use it during the day. At nighttime, it changes up to something a little bit heavier, which is the 24-hour defining cream. And so I like things really rich. So, you know, when we get older, I think, when I was younger, I just wanted something really light, but not anymore. So I'm going to use a tiny bit. I usually use a spatula just to get a little bit out. And that's really probably get a little more than I need to. So less than that would probably be sufficient. Okay, so I'm putting this all over my face. And then I'm putting it up under my eye because, you know, I forgot my eye cream. There you go. Okay, so that's pretty much it with the skincare. So I'm going to use a sunblock. Never leave home without this, right? So a tiny bit. Now, I hear that you're supposed to use a lot more than what you might think, and that's probably true, but I'm just going to use this much. So this is one of my favorite eye creams. This is my favorite sunblock. It was something that my sister had recommended. It's a Korean sunblock, and I believe, now I can't read, this is written in Korean, but there is some, I think, English writing here. This, I think you can get it at this website called Olive Young. And this is also something that I got the mascara from, which I'll talk about in just a second. So I believe you can get that. You can get it on the website, and I will mention that as well. I have to be very careful, right? Because the sunscreen, sunblocks, they could really burn or sting my eye. I don't know if you guys have problems with that. So I've been through a lot of sunblocks over, God, I don't know how many years. So, and whatever's left over, definitely the back of my hands. Okay, so there's my skincare routine. Ta-da! And I'm just going to quickly do my makeup. I don't have a lot of time, but, and I don't like to take a lot of time doing my makeup. Again, if you guys haven't figured that out from the last video doing makeup, but I will give you some tips that I'm going to do for this day makeup. I'm actually going to go to my sister's 60th birthday surprise day. We got a full day for her. She does not know this, and by the time she sees this video, if she sees it, do you see it? You already have experienced the party, so I'm not giving it up. Okay, so I'm using a little bit of foundation. I typically use very little makeup as far as like foundation is concerned. So I use the Anastasia. Of course, all the makeup is by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and it's called foundation. And there's like a million colors. So try to get one that fits you. Mine's 315 neutral, I think. So I put a tiny bit over my eyelid, under my eyelid, around my nose. I don't like to use too much, like I said, but definitely around the eye area, because that's where the sun likes to attack the area, is the crow's feet, right? So I always make sure that I put extra coverage around there because, again, it's all about preventing the sun from damaging the skin quicker than it needs to be. I always find that anti-aging is a funny phrase because although we would like to go against aging, who doesn't? You know, the key thing is to just be as youthful looking as possible and embrace the things that are happening and don't miss what's happening right now, right? Don't miss your moments, your important moments. For me, like today. So yeah, I mean, it's about just doing as much as you can, but don't get too crazy about it, right? Except for the eyebrows. You can get crazy about the eyebrows because, you know, that's, to me, the hardest thing than doing this whole makeup. Wouldn't you guys agree? Which is why I've devoted my whole page to eyebrows, which is why I feel like I can help so many of you guys, you know, being around eyebrows and doing makeup. Actually, I've been doing makeup, gosh, over like 15 years professionally. And then I went into doing eyebrows professionally for almost 25 years. So, and I find that makeup can be tricky, but not as tricky as eyebrows for most of us, right? So anyway, there you go. And I don't do a lot of powder. I like my skin to look a little bit on the dewy side. So I will put a little bit of powder, a tiny bit. So again, all these products I am going to mention. So don't worry. I use a tiny bit around the eye area, especially on the eyelid, because there's going to be some moisture on the eyelashes. So I want to make sure that I get all that off. And speaking of moisture, some of you guys have asked me, how do you get some, the brows get a little gummy, or the powder I use? There's a lot of product on there, you guys, maybe even from the foundation. So I go over it with the spoolie brush. Mine are tattooed, as you already know. So are my eyes. Like I have an eyeliner tattoo, which I will mention. I'm gonna go into it a little bit more soon enough. So tune in for that, you guys. So yeah, so even though you don't have a tattoo, you're still gonna have, you probably have a lot of hair than me. Get all the product off with a spoolie brush. And even with if you have a tissue on hand, you can like go over it with the tissue. So that way you blot out all the moisture and makeup. So when you do your eyebrows, it's a lot easier. Trust me, right? Okay, so we've done that. You know what? Here's a little tip. I actually sometimes like to put the blush on before I do my eyes, because sometimes the blush can, I don't know, soak into the face, and you're like, I know I just put blush on. Once you're done, then you're putting more and more, and then you're really left with a ton. So put a tiny bit, just so that, you know, I don't know, you have more of a balanced look, and so you don't go too much on the eyes, because cheek color to me is very important. It really is. And that is a blush trio, which again, I'll mention, I love it. It's pool party. And so I'm going to use actually red lipstick, believe it or not. Can you wear red during the day? I believe you can. Just don't go too, you'll see what I mean. Okay, so I like to put a little bit of something on the eyelid, because when you put something on the eyelid, you want it to be very, very neutral. You don't want it to be too much. So again, pool party, the nude part, I actually I dropped the powder, the blush trio. So now it's kind of like in all these little bits. Okay, so it's more of the neutral brown color, and I just put it over my eyelid. As you can already see the difference. So I'm putting a tiny bit on the eyelid. You guys, we have Asian eyelids or flat eyelids, hooded eyelids. You don't want to do like a crease in the middle, because our eyelids are flat. So you're putting this artificial line right in the middle. I'll go more into that maybe one day, but for right now, I'm just putting a tiny bit of color, even right below the eyebrows, because I want the eyelid to look nice and not so stark and white. With red lips, you don't want it to be, at least for me, I don't like it to be so like nude and then red, right? So there's a little tip. Try it out if you haven't already. And I'm going to mention other brushes as well, so don't worry about that. Now let's get into eyelashes. Believe it or not, lashes take me forever, because I have very little lashes, you guys, or very fine feathery lashes. Who has that problem? Me. So what I like to do, and I think so many of you guys have maybe watched my other video where I do a lot of layering. So I'm just going to bypass this really quick, because I really want to get into the lips real quick for you guys. Now, curl my eyelashes, and I use two products. Again, these will be mentioned on the information, but first I use waterproof. My eyelashes go straight down. It already grows down, but any product will make it go straight back down. So waterproof does not do for me, does not do that for me. It keeps the eyelashes up. And the thing is that I've tried every waterproof there is out there, you guys, from cheap to expensive, you name it. So, I mean, there is an expensive one that I like to use, but hey, this one is not that expensive. And what I love about this guy is that the bristles are really skinny. It's not full. When you have fine eyelashes, feathery eyelashes, especially that grows down like mine, you want the bristles to be a little bit more skinny. You don't want this big, full, fluffy mascara brush, because it doesn't catch the hair. So, which is why I love this brush. And so I put a little bit of that on, and then I put this lash conditioner, because it adds actually a lot of product. So it makes my eyelashes thick, really big. Well, as big as it can be. But I got to be careful, because I don't want to put too much. Otherwise, this is heavy, and it'll actually bring down my eyelashes, even though I have that waterproof underneath. And then I reapply the waterproof over that. And I give it some, like, couple of seconds before I put it on. But not too long. Otherwise, you're left with a big mess and you got to kind of start all over, and you don't have time for that. At least I do not. Okay, so that is what I do with my eyelashes. I don't need it to be that long. I need it to be just thick. You know, those lash serums do work, you guys, in case you're wondering. But keep in mind, they work because they do what they say. They make your lashes get longer. But they don't make more eyelashes, right? How many of you guys have now experienced that the density of your hair is not there, right? So the amount is lost, but you can work with what you have. So it's the same with eyebrow hair. People always ask me, can I put the lash serum on my eyebrows? I'm like, sure, go for it. It'll make your eyebrow hair a little bit longer, and sometimes it's like a comb over, right? So that can help. Why not, right? But does it make more hair follicles? No, sadly. Believe me, I would have been all over that by now if I knew that that worked. It's you guys have to remember that follicles are cells, so you only get what you get when you're born, and that's it. And as we age, we lose more. I know, good times, good times. So let's do the other one. Okay, so now I'm going to do the eyebrows. I like to almost always use a brow pen. I like a pen because I have that tattoo, so I like a little bit of just hair strokes over the tattoo. I do have some hair, as you can see. I think you can see that. Now I'm just quickly going over the eyebrow tattoo with these little angle lines, and I'm using a medium brown brow pen. I'm going very lightly, you guys. How many times have I said light pressure, right? Because I'm just using the tip of this pen. Now it's more like a marker, but we call it a pen. Okay, so very lightly. Obviously this does not take me as long as the eyelashes. So if you guys try practicing with this, you'll find that it's not as hard. Now it can get a little messy, so just practice that and see. The quicker you go with the light pressure, the thinner the lines can be, and you can make mistakes like this. The thinner the lines can be. I can't speak right now because I'm trying to really focus here. Why can't I do this? Okay, so I'm doing that, and I'm making my mistakes. See, even I make brow mistakes, you guys. So, but I love this pen. It's everything to me. Okay, so let's just remove that right here. Make sure you have a spoolie brush on hand because the spoolie brush will really tone down everything and even blend your colors. So whether you use a pencil or a powder, spooling it just throughout really blends. And I press kind of medium to light. I don't obviously press too hard, otherwise you're taking off everything you just did, right? So just very lightly here and there. And you know what? This is a chance to go back to some of the areas if you feel like you need to. But here's another tip. Don't feel like you need to get it perfect, because the more you try to make it perfect, the more you're going to spend trying to fix some of the areas. And then you're left with back and forth, and it just becomes a vicious cycle, right? So I find that a little bit of unevenness, or say messiness, not unevenness. We're already uneven as it is. It just adds to that natural look. So don't worry about it, as long as you have it in the main area, the brows. As long as it's a little fuller, right? Okay, so let's get to the lips. Yay. So I'm going to narrate me doing the lips because I can't speak while I'm doing the lips, but I will speak over what I am doing so you guys have a good idea. So here's a lip liner by Anastasia Beverly Hills called Chai. Chai is a mix of like a brownish red lip liner color. I love wearing these types of tones when I'm wearing a red lipstick. I think it has a nice balance to it. So love this liner. It's one of my favorite products from her makeup line because lip liners can be a little tricky. It can be too dry. It can ball up. This goes on so smooth, and liners just really help adjust your lip line. Mine are crooked. Here's a royal red. Now this lipstick is beautiful. It has a lot of blue undertone, and I say anyone or almost anyone can wear this tone because if you use a lip liner like I just did, that has a little bit of a brownish undertone, it has a nice balance. So after I line my lip, and after I apply the lipstick, I go back to the liner and just kind of adjust and make the lip line a little bit cleaner. My lips are a little bit crooked, so this helps as well. Again, the liners just add a little bit more fine line balance to the lipstick, but it helps the lipstick from bleeding too much. So I think that's always important, right? So this is a nice little tone. I think anyone can use it. Try it out if you haven't already. And again, just nice little balance. And it looks a little bit blue next to my yellow robe, but it's going to make a little bit more sense when you see on with my outfit. Now, all of these products, including the skincare, is tagged for your purchase. You could tap the screen anytime from beginning to end to see the product, but check out this photograph and see if it makes sense to you. So here you go. This is an outfit that I have on to surprise my sister. We have decided to wear this hat because it's a high noon tea luncheon. So it's very fitting, don't you think? Let me know what you think of this lipstick and, yeah, of this whole look. Happy holidays and have a safe holiday as well. Thank you.